The Eagles might be buying low in free agency, but they're winning. They're winning free agency when you really think about it. We're live talking all things Eagles, maybe a mock draft, maybe some Sixers, maybe some Phillies. Who knows what we're going to talk about on this Football Friday. We're live taking all your thoughts and opinions in 30 seconds. Julep. 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 And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. We are live, YouTube, Twitter. You know what the deal is. Hit that like button and subscribe button on YouTube. Share it out on Twitter. And, guys, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, STT Sports Network, sitting at 460 subscribers as the race to 500 slowly just keeps dragging along. So please subscribe. Please share it out. Please tell a friend. Please do one. Please do all. Just tell everybody. Just tell everybody. Trending the AM, the number one sports show in Philadelphia. The only place where your opinions actually matter. Guys, I'm your host, Phil Stiefel. Help me out. Do what you can. Tell one. Tell all. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. And we're talking Eagles free agency today, as the Eagles had a very, very, very active day yesterday in free agency, bringing in not one, not two, but three free agent players. All depth pieces. We'll get into each and every one of them as the show goes on. They even brought in a new assistant offensive coach along the way. So we're going to talk a lot about that. We may run, depending on time, a mock draft today. Phillies announced this year's Wall of Fame additions. We're going to talk about that. Congratulations to Jimmy Rollins and Ed Wade. The Sixers have announced that they use artificial intelligence, not Allen Iverson, to, build their franchise and their team. We're going to talk. This is not an artificial simulation. This is a real deal me here, just so you all know. Daryl Morey, man. Anyway, the Eagles get active, so let me highlight these first two comments here. Good morning, little G. Hope you are well. Happy birthday to your cousin. Good morning, Adam. Hope you are well as well. 460. We get to 461. I would like to set a goal like 470 today, but we know what that won't happen. So let's get to it. Let's get to the Eagles. New additions. The Eagles have signed tight end Harrison Bryant from the Las Vegas Raiders. Most of his career, 5-year career, was with Cleveland. Tight end, 6'5", 230, 26-year-old tight end. That is the first signing yesterday. Next, they signed Joshua, don't call me Uche, 26-year-old defensive end edge rusher, and 29-year-old, soon to be 30-year-old, cornerback Adoree Jackson, 5'11", 185 pounds, spent 8 years in the league, 4 with Tennessee, last 4 with the Giants. Very, very active day for them. Very active, bringing in a lot of depth pieces to this team. Very active, bringing in 3 guys that will play roles around the big stars that we have on this team already signed. Guys that will help push some of the young, unproven guys. And I think all 3 moves are classic Howie moves. Very classic. Buy low, sell high. Guys that are going to be on 1-year prove-it deals. To some of them might not even make the team. Let's be honest. Some of them are on such cheap deals. Josh, don't call me Uche, signed a 1-year deal with only $750K guaranteed. There ain't no guarantee he even makes the team. Same thing with Adoree Jackson. People are freaking out about trading basically Darius Slay for Adoree Jackson. That's not what you're doing. Adoree Jackson's being brought in to push Keely Ringo, to be that backup voice to Keely Ringo. Harrison Bryant is not replacing Dallas Goedert. Although I think Harrison Bryant has a little bit more talent than his stats say. He's just in a terrible situation, first with Cleveland and last year with the Raiders. Glad Little G includes Michigan in his list of elite college players. Yeah, there you go. What's up, Peanut? How you doing? All these new signees will not be on the roster next season. Howie's banking on his draft picks to take a major step up. Expect to see Brown at safety, Ringo at cornerback, and Phil as the number one morning show. Well, I already am the number one morning show, Peanut. Not by the ratings, but just by, common knowledge. I expect at least 2 or 3 of these guys to make the team. If you throw A.J. Dillon into the conversation as well. I expect some of them to be on this team, but I also think some of them are not locks to make the team. I expect Keely Ringo to be the starter now on the outside opposite of Quinion Mitchell. Harrison Bryant will be your backup or your third tight end, depending on the situation, with Dallas Goedert and Grant Calcaterra. Joshua Uche, don't call me Uche. I mean, he's going to be competing with Bryce Huff for snaps. So we'll see. Uche is basically insurance in case they find a way to get off of Bryce Huff. So depth on the defensive line. These moves were not made to make impact on the field in a major contributing way in 2025. Do I like the new additions? I love the new additions in the sense of this is what you do. This is what you've got to do. You've got to take risks when you've got 7 guys about to be 8, next year 9 guys making $20 to $40 million a year. You need 1-year prove-it deal guys on cheap contracts to fill out the outer edges of the roster. And that's what you're doing there. And that's why I like these moves so much. Uche can give you 6 to 8 sacks given the other talent on the line, health, etc. Absolutely. You put him on a line with Jalen Carter, all of a sudden his ability maybe goes up. I mean, he did have 11.5 sacks in 2022. Since 2022, he has 6 in the NFL in pressure rate. So there is talent there. It's just, can he put it together and recapture some of that form? I think, playing on our defense, I think his speed, his flexibility, his ability to play with his hand in the ground or standing up, probably with his athleticism, drop back into coverage, I think he's a guy that's ripe to thrive in the Vic Fangio defense. I really do. Uche? Is it Uche? Noobs, did you change your picture? What did you change in your picture? My bad. I asked on Twitter yesterday, and someone said the CH was pronounced like Chuck. So Uche is what somebody told me. I believe the Twitter person that responded to me. I'm just going to say, don't call me Uche, because, why not? I'm feeling Uche today. So it's pronounced Uche. All right, so now it's Uche. Happy Friday to you, Judd. Hope you are well. What's up, Ricky boy? Howie is in the bargain basement shopping mode right now, but that's not a bad thing. A prove-it deal and what it got left, guys. Just think about it. I mean, 2 of our major contributors last year, Mekhi Becton, 3. You could do Mekhi Becton, Zach Bond, and Oren Burks were all on prove-it deals last year. They all were major contributing factors. You've got 7 guys making $20 million or more next year. You spent how much money last offseason on AJ and Devontae extensions? You got to fill in the cracks elsewhere. You can't pay everybody $30 million. You can't go out there and get everybody. These are the kind of moves. Guys that have something to prove. Uche and Bryant in the NFL. Adoree Jackson looking for one more run. I kind of look at the Adoree Jackson move as a Terrell Edmonds move from a few years ago. A guy that's towards the end of his career, maybe he's got a little something left. Maybe he doesn't even make the roster. You just don't know. And you won't know until training camp and spring and preseason games come around. Is he feeling Uche? I'm feeling Uche. What's up, kid? Hope you're feeling well today. Marvin Harrison Jr. owned Ringo when they faced off in CFB. Can't get that out of my hide. Okay. All right, well, that could be a problem. Marvin Harrison Jr. was a pretty elite talent, especially in college. Look, Ringo has spent the last 2 years learning behind one Mr. Darius Slay. You got to hope that Christian Parker and Vic Fangio have him ready to go because he is going to be your starting guy. On the outside, there's just no doubt it. He is the starting guy on the outside. Adoree Jackson is not it. I mean, he started 82 games in his career, Adoree Jackson. I get it. But he's at the end of his career. He's 29, going to be 30 at the start of the season. The details of his deal haven't come out yet, other than a one-year deal. He's got 4 career interceptions in 8 years. So he's not whatever. But he is a guy that the Eagles looked at bringing in a few years ago as well. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Uche, a former Michigan Wolverine, that is in my notes here. I did write all that down. Second-round pick in 2020. So there is a pedigree there as well. Howie's getting a lot of guys from 2020 draft this offseason. Uche has a major axe to grind with the Chiefs. They traded him for him. Yeah, he was a healthy inactive in the Super Bowl, kind of like Bryce Huff, right? So that's kind of another little side storyline there. Howie has different stages of work. Right now, it's just the simmer. Again, I brought it up yesterday. The amount of moves to enter 2022. Like the 2022 offseason, like trading for A.J. Brown, drafting Jordan Davis, Cam Jurgens, Jacoby Dean, trading for Chauncy Gardner Johnson, bringing in Bradbury. None of that started till the draft and on. That offseason, which was great offseason, was one of those offseasons that nothing happened the first couple days, couple of weeks, even the first month. All the big things that happened were later. Any D tackle or DN benefits from Carter, Sweat, and Williams will not be worth the money. Oh, sorry, I didn't put the pause there. Sweat and Williams will not be worth the money. Absolutely, Josh Sweat's contract's going to be massively regretted in Arizona, Peanut, for sure. I think that's going to be a massive one. Milton Williams, I'm still debating on how he'll do he'll obviously see more double teams without Jalen Carter next to him, but we'll see. They'll definitely take a step back. They took the bag knowing that. Yeah, absolutely. But I don't fault them for taking the bag either. I honestly think none of the signings make the 53-man roster. Marshawn, I don't know if I think A.J. Dillon is a no, or most likely. I think Adoree Jackson's kind of teetering. I think if they trade Dallas Goedert, or even if they don't, I think Harrison Bryant is a guy that will make the roster since Jack Stoll is no longer available to be brought in 14 times a year. And I think Uche is a possibility. I think A.J. Dillon and Adoree Jackson would be your most likely not to make the roster of the 4 fringe signings that they've made so far. That would be my guess. Adoree Jackson will be a solid veteran presence in the defensive room. That's what we said about Terrell Edmonds. And I sat on this show and said, there's a chance Terrell Edmonds doesn't make the roster, and he was cut week 2 or something like that, or traded, whatever we did to get rid of him. Yeah. I don't know if you need a veteran presence in the defensive backs room when you've got Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. It's their room. They're the bosses of that room already, Rick. They don't need a veteran to teach them. They're already taught. They're already better than half the league, if not all the league. It's a booch. The booch is loose. Maybe they add Justin Simmons. Does Dallas stay or go? Justin Simmons was rumored all last offseason, never got here. And he's been rumored all this offseason. I'll believe it when I see it, Booch. But I wouldn't mind Justin Simmons. I think we need Justin Simmons for Sidney Brown more than we need Adoree Jackson for Keely Ringo. And does Dallas stay or go? Look, I'll be upset if Dallas goes. I get it if he does go. But I think with the way the offseason's playing out, it's smarter to renegotiate his contract and keep him on a 1-year cheap deal. We'll see what happens there. Something's going to happen with Dallas Goedert, and I expect it to happen this weekend. I do. My expectation is Monday morning we're talking about whatever happens with Dallas Goedert. I also don't think Uncle Vic is as excited to bring Justin Simmons as Simmons is as excited to be an Eagle. Yeah, everyone says Justin Simmons because of his connection with Vic Fangio. But don't you think he would have been brought in last year, Marshawn, if Vic Fangio wanted him so bad, right? I get what you're saying there, and I kind of understand what you're saying. Yesterday, you left us like the Lord. What? I didn't leave you. I did exactly what I had to do. Thank you very much, Booch. Yes, thank you. We were all very happy. That's why I'm so oosy this week, Adoree good? Nah, I don't think he's that good anymore. Pats fans were not happy when they only got a 6 for Uche. Uche. A few fans I know called it one of the dumber trades of the last decade. I mean, 2022 was a few years back, but he had potential. The Patriots were bad. I can't believe he traded him. And then he sat in the Super Bowl. We'll see. I think there's massive upside with Joshua Uche. Massive upside. But it's a very, very, very buy low, win big type deal. It's the type of deal you hope he has 7 or 8 sacks for the Eagles and then goes out in the free agent next year and brings you back a 6th-round compensatory pick or something like that. That's what you're hoping with Uche. Adoree Jackson being only 29 is wild to me. Feels like he's been in the league for 8 years. That's Adoree Jackson is kind of why I'm not off of the trade for what's his name? Why can't I remember his name? Because he's so bad. Kenyon Green. That's why I'm not totally over it, because Kenyon Green's been in the league for 4 years, but he's only 23 years old or 24 years old. So some of these guys come out in the draft out of college at 2021. It's something. Dylan, if healthy, will be a good fit. Well, A, is he healthy? B, he hasn't played in over a year. C, yeah, if healthy and got his legs back, he could be an asset. That is for sure. Could be an asset. Bobby Boucher, what about Bobby Boucher? Dallas gone. Is Avonte Maddox staying? I don't know. Last year, he was allowed to test the free agent market. Nobody wanted him, so he came back on a 1-year cheap deal. So far, it doesn't seem like anybody wants him this year either, Adam. So maybe he's the 6th quarterback. I mean, he made a big play in the Super Bowl. Excuse me. I doubt Avonte Maddox is back, but crazier things have happened. It's very possible. The Eagles' offensive line is going up, and the Cowboys are going to pay for it. If it's the Georgia boys' locker room, it's even more the Georgia boys' locker room, Marshawn, because the Eagles brought in, I have to remember his name here, Montgomery Van Goedert. He was the assistant quarterback coach at Georgia from 2019 to 2024. He's now going to be an offensive assistant with the Eagles. He was a quarterback at Notre Dame and Youngstown State. So they've added even more Georgia flair to the locker room yesterday. Not just the players. Now they're getting coaches from Georgia, too. Hopefully Goedert is here for another season or two to help groom the tight end how he drafts this year. Yeah, I hope so. We'll see, but I hope so. Get Gilmore. That would be the best. I don't think we need Stephon Gilmore here. I think the Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson combo is what they're going with at this point. Did you see Mike and Dexter Lawrence going at each other online? Yes, I did not. I'm more looking at the fact that the Cowboys signed Miles Sanders and are on the verge of signing Cooper Kupp. And I can't wait till FanDuel Sportsbook and a bunch of other, 33rd team and everybody else make graphics. Who's stopping this offense of Dak Prescott, Cooper Kupp, and CeeDee Lamb and Miles Sanders? Nobody's going to stop them. Some 12-year-old's going to make a graphic and make a post and talk about that quad group there over there in Dallas, and nobody realizes that they're going to suck. You love using the word mid when you talk about Eagles players because you don't know, but he's below mid. Yeah. Oh no, Miles Sanders to Dallas. Woo, no. I still think Howie has a surprise trade. I'm thinking around training camp. I think Marshawn at this point, I'm leaning towards a big draft day trade. But if it doesn't happen on the draft day, yes, then maybe a training camp. I feel that Howie's holding on, hoping a certain player. Which player, I don't know. But holding out hope that a certain player drops in the draft to a point where he can make a trade up in the draft to grab X player. Not sure. Is it Starks? Is it Tyler Warren? Is it any? I don't know who it is. He's holding out hope that X player falls 15, 18, 22, somewhere in that range. You can slide up, use some of these future draft picks, and get a guy. But I don't know who that guy is. Dallas does suck. That's right. Kupp did not go to the Cowboys, but Kupp, Adam Schefter tweeted out last night that the Cowboys have emerged as a secret, or as a quiet contender, and that they were talking to Cooper Kupp about bringing him in. And the way he phrased it made me seem like the Cowboys all of a sudden last night jumped out as the favorite to land Cooper Kupp. And Cooper Kupp said he didn't want a long, drawn-out process. He wants to make his decision right away. Miles will forever live in Barkley's shadow. He will ever be met. I know there's a lot of hate towards Miles Sanders, and I think kind of feel bad for Miles Sanders to an extent. I mean, he was a huge part of us getting to the Super Bowl in 2022. I have no hate towards Miles Sanders. Now, he's the enemy. He's on the Cowboys, so I can't stand him now. But I have no Miles Sanders hate like others do. Not at all. I still think Howie finally get Hendrickson before long. Somebody else told me that yesterday on Twitter. That's the big play. I don't know about that. I still think it's going to cost you too much to get him, but we'll see. Glad Maddox had his moment in the Super Bowl. I think everyone thought when he had, I know. I was like, even Maddox is like, that's when you knew it was a special Super Bowl, when even Vontae Maddox is making big plays. Miles signed with the Cowboys late yesterday afternoon, last night. Whenever I saw it last night after I got home from work, but sometime late yesterday, Miles signed with the Cowboys. Yes. Miles Sanders is not even the best running back on the Cowboys at this point. But yeah. Probably trade up for a tight end, maybe the dude from Penn State. I don't think he'll fall far enough. He's not going to fall to 15, 18, 20. But maybe Loveland, maybe. I know they like the Bowling Green tight end as well, so maybe that's an option as well. Cowboys are Bills before Allen signed washed-up popular names to sell seats in the That's a fair statement. Who's throwing the ball to Kupp and Lamb? Dak. Dak's a top 5 quarterback. Come on now. Didn't you not get with the program, Marshawn? Dak's the second best quarterback in the NFC East behind Jaden Daniels. Maybe the best in the NFC East ahead of Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts. Come on now. Didn't you know? Get with the times. Didn't you know that the bird was the word? I just don't know. It's going to cost a lot. Let's just say that. Miles was the worst player on the field in the Super Bowl. He was, without a doubt. I know, 18 people watching, 9 likes. Come on, you got to hit that like button, you got to hit that share button, and you got to hit that subscribe button. Can't believe yesterday's show. We had boatloads of views yesterday. Almost 200 views on the show yesterday. I didn't gain 1 subscriber during the show yesterday. What's up with that? Come on. It's free to hit that like button. It's free to hit that share button. It's free to hit subscribe. Come on. Trying to build something special here. And I need everybody to pitch in to do that. If you don't have Huff, you would get Hendrickson. Well, the theory is that Huff could be traded at some point here. How, I don't know, but I guess so. But you've got Uche now. You've got Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt on the outside as your main guys. And I'm missing somebody else. Keep missing somebody. But anyway, Hendrickson would be nice, but I don't think he's worth the investment. There was a while where you could argue with the info at the time that Sanders was having the better start up to the career than Saquon. Absolutely. I sat here on this show after he left in free agency saying it was going to be a big loss. The guy had 1,200 yards. He had double-digit touchdowns in 2022. Yeah, he was a ghost in the Super Bowl. So was Saquon Barkley this past Super Bowl. He just got washed really fast or went to a bad team. Seattle, a possible landing spot for Cooper Kupp, I think. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You get rid of Kupp, you bring in Adams. That was the Rams. So Seattle gets rid of DK Metcalf and then brings in Kupp. Like, the wide receiver carousel stuff doesn't make any sense right now. Fannin, that's the tight. I couldn't remember his name, but I know I've been running a lot of mock drafts just to kind of get a feel for the board, and I've seen him available for the Eagles a few times. And I like it. I like drafting a tight end, renegotiating Goedert on a 1-year deal, having him kind of pass the torch, and then you got Harrison Bryant and Grant Calcaterra. I don't know what you go there, but we'll see how that goes. Howie is a Florida Gator. He did it. Hurts him to draft Georgia Bulldogs, but he wants to win. Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to win on the Eagles organization. What's up, Dives? Mason Taylor or Gunnar Helm for the Birds. Fannin can't block or play in the trenches. Taylor and Helm have more upside as blockers. So, but see, the thing is here, Dives, your number one tight end needs to be able to block a little bit. Your number one tight end doesn't have to block great, right? If you're going to use him in the passing game. I don't know. I'm thinking that I doubt the Eagles would draft any of those guys in the first round, unless it was Tyler Warren. I don't think anybody would get drafted in the first round, tight end wise. Howie wouldn't do that. He would either draft something else or trade back and then take somebody. I would highly be shocked, officially shocked, if they drafted one of these guys at 32. When are you doing the STT official mock draft? Well, we did one 2 weeks ago. I'm planning on doing one today. Maybe I'll start it soon here and see how it goes. Running back can hit the wall fast. Absolutely. I like my tight end one to be at least above average at both. The Eagles were elite and absolutely. And Dallas Goedert is a great. And when Dallas Goedert went down, we missed him in the blocking game. Obviously, Grant Calcaterra can't block at all. All this Dallas Goedert and Dallas Goedert talk of trade, extension, whatever. All this talk about bringing in Harrison Bryant. But what do we do with Grant Calcaterra? He's coming towards the end of his rookie deal. He hasn't learned how to block. He kind of disappears in the passing game at times. He's had plenty of opportunities with all the Dallas Goedert injuries. If they extend Dallas Goedert, if they draft a tight end in the first 3 rounds, what do you do with Grant Calcaterra then? Does he have a trade market? I don't know. I think there's another situation where there's a guy that could be off this team soon. Dallas couldn't block for shit coming out of college. Stoutland U can turn. That's a fair point. It was Zach Ertz was better blocker than Dallas Goedert early in the career. He learned to become a good blocker. Chubbs Hubbard is him. Calcaterra was a major liability in pass protection. Oh my God. I'm thinking of one specific play, and I can't remember what game it was late in the year. Maybe it was the playoffs, where Calcaterra got Jalen Hurts just absolutely demolished on a play. Crazy bad blocker, Grant Calcaterra. Grant seems expendable. He is. But does he have a value? Are you going to trade it? Like, would a team actually give you a draft pick, even a 6th-round draft pick for Grant Calcaterra? I highly doubt it. Grant Calcaterra strikes me as somebody that could be a cut, like a training camp cut. Maybe, depending on how the offseason plays out. Nobody know Calcaterra, so no one want him. Exactly. We're the only ones that know who he is. Does nothing for me. You can't trade somebody that nobody wants or that has no trade value. Guys, please, we're over 20. Yesterday we were over 30 for a long stretch. We're over 20 concurrent viewers. That means there should be 20 likes on this video. Should be more than 460 subscribers. So please, like, share, subscribe. If you want me to shut up asking for likes and subscribes, then make sure you're hitting that like, subscribe, and share button. That's what I said. Stout can't turn Grant into a blocker. I mean, Calcaterra's been here, 3 years now? Has it been 3 years or 2 years with Calcaterra? I want to say 3, but it might have only been 2. I don't know what you do with Grant Calcaterra. If you keep Dallas Goedert, if you draft a guy, I don't know what you do with him. I think it's a very, very interesting situation, the tight end situation with the Eagles. If you can't block, no rock. There you go. I like that. Thumb this son of a... Yep, absolutely. Underrated storyline this summer. Who was the third down back next to Saquon? And which running back between AJ and Shipley is the better pass protector? Kenny G was low-key solid. Kenny G was very solid. I mean, he utilized every opportunity he had to its fullest. He didn't get many, but he utilized his opportunities. He was a good pass blocker. He ran well between the tackles and outside. He caught the ball well. He was a goal line kind of guy, like the inside the 20 red zone guy. I'm not ready to turn it over to Shipley. AJ, I don't even know if he'll make the team. I don't know. I know there's a lot of people that have hype on Will Shipley and the personality and the potential is there. But is the potential ready to be capitalized on? I don't know. You got to be able to pass protect to be running back 2 in the Eagles offense. I don't know if Shipley can do. If AJ Dillon is healthy, I almost said AJ Brown. It's good. Why do they have to sign AJ Dillon? Like, seriously, like, I'm just going to say AJ Brown by mistake so many times when talking AJ Dillon. If AJ Dillon's healthy and has legs behind under him still, AJ Dillon is running back 2 ahead of Shipley. Well, we better get started on Calcaterra's blocking. He hasn't figured it out yet. Steelers got the great Kenny G, yes. Well, you can't say that because you don't know. Yeah, exactly. We're all showing love to K1's number 1. Do you have like a stuffed animal that you sleep with at night with the picture of Kenny G over it? Who wins a squat contest between Barkley, Dillon, and Hurts? FYI, if I entered the contest, none of those guys. Oh, missed as a squat master. All right. I see. Kenny Gainwell, I expect, will be used more as a Steeler. Yes, he will. He went to the Steelers to get an opportunity to have more than 5 or 10 touches a game. Shipley is definitely making the team. I'm not saying Shipley's not making the team. I'm just saying I'm not sure I'm ready to trust him as running back 2 yet. Still need to see that. You were in a Bills chat saying get Kenny G. Yeah, because I've taught you. You probably, all the people you call mid on this show, you'll probably go into Bills chats and talk about how great they are because we like them. Grant Calcaterra is entering his 3rd year. Okay. I feel like Grant Calcaterra has been around for a decade almost. He has St. Candle of Kenny. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Around week 5 or 7, the defense will be top 5 overall. Howie did say patience. Yeah, look, we don't know the schedule. We don't know when the bye week's going to be. But this defense wasn't that great the first 4 weeks of the year. It takes time. Patience. Patience is the key, Marshawn. Not just with free agency, with the draft, with the season, everything. Outside of me, was anybody saying this was a Super Bowl team after week 4 during the bye week on this show? But you know what the turnaround was. And this is no disrespect to Big Al, but the day EOP shut down and I went solo and created the phrase STT Sports Network, you know what happened? The Eagles went on a run like none other and won the Super Bowl. Just saying. Coincidence? I think not, that the STT Sports Network and the Eagles' success go hand in hand, right? Yeah. Howie preaches patience. I guess I got to be patient too. I guess Rome wasn't built in a day, right? Howie's been collecting players. He looked at, yeah, he has collected guys that, even Adoree Jackson. I mean, he brought him in for a free agent meeting a few years ago. So Howie's getting the guys he wanted that he didn't get. It's Nakobe Dean and Zach Bond right now. Nakobe Dean, reports are, is healing up faster than expected. I guess Trot Jr., if not, is your next guy. I'm sure they'll bring in another linebacker, another Oren Burks type. They might draft one in the 5th round. Just saying. I know wrote in Bill's chat, don't pay Milton and Becton. Okay. I still can't believe Mekhi Becton hasn't been signed. Who joins the Bald Eagle? I don't know. I said Super Bowl before the season started. I had the Eagles beating the Texans. That was my preseason prediction. Squat contest between these guys is hilarious. Random thought. Could A.J. Dillon be the Eagles' way to protect themselves if the tush push gets banned? That also could be Harrison Bryant, Dibes, because with Cleveland in his first 4 years, he ran a quarterback draw kind of play under center multiple times for the Browns. So, yeah, maybe. Maybe that's part of it. Trot Jr. is linebacker 2 until Nakobe Dean's back. But I think Nakobe Dean is, because it's a contract year for Nakobe Dean, unless Howie Roseman gives Nakobe Dean an extension this offseason while he's injured, maybe you do that to get him a little cheaper. He's going to push himself back quickly to show what he's worth and that he's healthy. So I'm still not sure, but I would expect Nakobe Dean to try to make a push to be ready by week 1. I don't think what I'm saying is a coincidence. Not at all. Is Phil's shirt tight or too loose? I don't know. It's this chair. It keeps riding up. I'm sorry. I'm not ripped. I don't got no guns. Are we aware of what STT stands for? I mean, I am. I say it all the time. Setting the trends for what STT Sports Network, setting the trends for what sports networks should be. That's what it is. Just so you know. With the Eagles O-line, you can trust Shipley as running back 2. Shipley is dynamic, just haven't seen the most of him. You still need to be able to block, and I'm not sure if he's a blocker yet or not, but hopefully. Isn't Trot Jr. Zach Bond's backup? I'd like the Birds to find someone more athletic and rangy for that spot. Yes, I would like that too. I think Trot would start in place of Zach Bond, or in place of Nakobe Dean at first, if it was necessary. But yeah. Will the fullback play a role in the offense? Maybe at the goal line. Absolutely. I mean, when they re-signed Ben Van Sumeren the other day, they did it and announced him as a fullback, not a linebacker. So now he won't have to declare every time he comes in. I would expect, if healthy, Ben Van Sumeren gets 5 to 8 to 9 snaps a game, maybe even 5, maybe 8 or 9 occasionally. I don't think I ever asked this, but what was the reason behind the naming it? Well, Fox's Pizza is a franchise. So that's the franchise name. It's a small little franchise. So not a huge franchise. Small little franchise out of Pittsburgh. Stop. Shayshawn Barkley? What? Did I miss something there? Trot Jr. is going to be so good. Can't wait. I don't know. Maybe. I don't think we saw remotely anything last year that can back this up, Anthony. But it'd be cool. I mean, I don't know. Nakobe Dean, you got Zach Bond for 3 years now. Is there even room for Trot Jr.? I low-key love how the Eagles noted BVS as a fullback. The Birds' offense was unstoppable. Yeah, I mean, I expect them to do the under center even more next year. I want to see it 5 times a game at least. Gainwell and Slay went from the Philly cheesesteak to the Pittsburgh crap sandwich. Not Permane sandwich, the crap sandwich. Yeah. Permane brothers suck. Plain and simple. Summerlin is the fullback. Have you seen him at linebacker? Fullback was the better move. I mean, he was a good special teams player. You promised us guests. I had guests lined up last week. I had guests on last week. I haven't had a chance to reschedule Parcera. Last week I had to cancel because of the wife, okay? I get you guests, okay? I've brought on some guests already. We'll keep it going. More under center is also how you open up the middle of the field with play action. The Eagles were so good at it. Yeah, absolutely agree with you, Dives. The thing is, I'm curious how much Kevin Patullo tweaks what Kevin Patullo said he was going to run basically the same system that Kellen Moore did. How does he refine it or adjust it? So he's going to put his own spin on it. Is he going to go more like this or not? I don't know. Is he going to take the best parts like this and increase the usage of it? I'll be curious to see what Kevin Patullo does with the offense. It was Parcera was supposed to be on last Friday. And then with my wife's surgery, I had to cancel 3 shows last week. I just haven't had a chance to lock down a date to reschedule with El Parcero, JP. I'll try to get JP on next week. I will. Howie's broken trends the past few years. Would this include buying Lane Johnson's eventual replacement instead of drafting him? You wouldn't think so, but we've seen stranger things. Who's that guy you're going to buy, though, Noobs? Is there a guy out there that is buyable right now? I don't know. That would be keeping Mekhi Becton and having him be the replacement eventually, I would think, if your theory was correct. The Kobe Dean football career is blurry to me. Hope his injuries don't shorten his career. Yeah. Exactly. That was why he fell to the 3rd round of the draft, Jonathan, when he came out of the draft anyway, because of his injuries. No, he was supposed to be on last Friday. I canceled last Friday's show because of the wife's surgery. Haven't replaced him yet. All I know is the year Trotter he joined the team, we had excellent linebacker play. The prophecy was true. Yeah, there you go. I have not gotten Renee. Renee Washington just started a new job in New York. I'm waiting to see what her schedule is with the new job before I could get her on. More specifically, more under center during all 4 quarters for some stupid reason we typically didn't see it until the second half last year. Yeah, I just want to see it more, plain and simple. We want more guests. You want more guests, then you complain that I don't pay attention to the chat when guests are on. Seriously. New role at work got me feeling different in the morning, hence being late. That's all good, man. It's all good. I had Chris Franklin on last week, and I had Parcero's planned, and then things come up. So we'll get back on the guest train next week. Like I said, the one thing with Renee Washington is I got to wait till she settles out her new job schedule before I can figure that one out. Tula is full of crap. He's going to put a nice amount of his and Reich's plays. Yeah, maybe. I'm concerned. I'm sure. We want Ray's chick. What? The 12 is badass. Yes. Eagles must draft the top prospect for inside linebacker. That would help if no Dean. I don't see them going linebacker early in the draft, Jonathan. I don't. Not at all. I would expect it to be somewhere in that, 4th, 5th round. Trotter lives in the next town over from me. Be careful. If I tell the Axeman what you said about Junior, he might not like that. I didn't say anything bad. What's up, Dante? Marsh, I shouldn't feel like a dad who walked out of his life as a kid. Is that what I'm doing? Oh, man, I love it. Yeah. Yeah, I wish, man. I could use a trip down there right now. I don't think I don't. I think that the market drying up so quickly for Mekhi Becton tells me that people think that he's just a product of a great offensive line system in Philly, and they don't want to take the chance on the 1-year deal or 1 year that he had success, which is crazy because the Cardinals paid almost $80 million for Josh Sweat, who was a product, and Milton Williams got $100+ million because he was a product of the defense. But Mekhi Becton being a product of the offensive line is hurting him. It's crazy. It's crazy what's going on with Mekhi Becton. This Kenny G think yeah. Please sub up. 28 people in YouTube right now watching. There should be 28 likes. There should be more subscribers. I promised guests. I got guests. Just not enough for you yet. Most guy at retweet, a right tackle and left tackle is difficult to get, and if they are any good because they and the center are the. Yeah. Ben Van Summer's always been a victim of a numbers game and a natural tight end fullback hybrid. See more Tom Rathman, man. Look at that nickname, that name drop right there from the 49ers of past. Like playing packages for him. Look, I think they even ran a play out of the backfield for him to catch a pass, right? Or was that a blasting game that caught a pass out of the backfield? I love it. I will get Shane Half on. I will. I know y'all love Shane. Shane's my man. He's been on the show plenty of times. I'll get him on. I'll tell Shane. I'll text him later. Be like, yo, the people have spoken. They want Shane Half on. I'll get him on, okay? K1, your support for KG is unwavering. I know. Man, he's probably already bought a Kenny Gainwell Pittsburgh Steelers jersey, to be honest with you. The St. Pete baseball chick. What? Not sure if it was mentioned. Adoree Jackson can do punt. Yeah, so we haven't mentioned it yet. Adoree Jackson has experienced kick and punt returning. He hasn't been a punt returner since 2022, though. Hasn't been a regular kick returner since 2019. Something he can do. Hasn't done it in a long time. So, yeah. I would like to see more STT and Pin Pull Club. Well, I mean, I do a show on the Pin Pull Network every morning, just so you know. And DSM, all right. I got to get Scotty and Dylan back on. As we get closer to the end of the Sixers season, I'll get Scotty on, and I'll work on Dylan as well. Especially Dylan when it comes to baseball talk. And I don't know if anyone wants to talk baseball, but the Phillies announced yesterday Jimmy Rollins and Ed Wade as Wall of Fame inductees this year. And I love that Jimmy Rollins is getting it. And I love that Ed Wade's getting it because Ed Wade is severely disrespected in Philadelphia with the Phillies in the Phillies world, just so you know. Hey, Rick, I don't know if you saw it. Trea Turner drew a walk, Bryce Harper singled, and then Schwarber hit a 3-run home run. Because that way that lineup was built yesterday. Just throwing that out there. I still have no faith that Topper keeps it that way. Mekhi is not a backup. He's a starter. The league knows that Mekhi looks like without Stoutland you. I guess. But it tells me bring him back then. If his market's drying up, Marshawn, then go out there and get him now for 2 years $22 million. If the market's not there, 2 years, $22 million, 16 guaranteed, lock him up. And then you got him, you got Steen. You could put the new kid, Kenyon Green, on, in developmental role. Why not? I guess we're safe to say we don't need to draft a quarterback this year. Well, you never know. They had a DT in free agency and the draft. Absolutely. Phillies prospects versus Pirates prospects on TV today at 1 p.m. Looking forward to watch that. Okay. I mean, I'll have the Players' Championship on. I'm all about the Player Championship. We have not hit the 30 concurrent viewers today like yesterday. I think 28 or 29 was our max today so far. Yesterday we were up to 35 for a few minutes yesterday. But that's why the like button, the share button, and the subscribe button are so important. All right? He did go because of Gannon, but also he had success in the Eagles because of Jalen Carter. Facts, yeah. Gio the podcast. I love Gio. Gio's great. Gio's in school, so maybe I have to hold that off till summertime. I'm thinking of moving to Pittsburgh just to continue. Go for it. Go throw up one of those Permani Brothers sandwiches. Huge fan of A.J. Dillon signed Dillon. I liked him a few years ago, but the dude had an injury that everyone said was going to end his career. So, I'm not going to be hyped about A.J. Dillon till I see him on the field. Slay's already tweeting Steelers fans. She has a rebound relationship. Everyone's going to be missing her banana pudding, right? I feel old with J-Roll. I do too. So old. Dude, I feel old all the time, just to be honest with you. Can we do an STT Pimple draft watch? Yeah, we could probably do that. If I do a full draft night watch party, then there's no way I'll do a morning show the day after. But I'll stay up all night. We can do it on the Pinpole Network and our network because we share the same streaming program. I'll talk to him. We'll see what we can do here. Well, that explains why they didn't give Covey a contract, but they got to stop using DeJean as a punt returner. Yeah. Edway definitely deserves to be on the Phillies Wall of Fame. 100%. Phillies do not win the 08 World Series without Edway. So, love it. I love the Phillies lineup yesterday. I just don't think they'll do it. When are we going to see you back on YouTube? Yeah, Big Al wants. Maybe I'll get Big Al on as a guest next week. How about that? We'll line up guests every day next week. Phillies offense is going to be really strong this season. Just saying. I hope so. But I hope so in the playoffs. I don't care if it's good. It's always good in the regular season. It's about the playoffs, Rick. But plenty of teams are happy with Stoutland new grads. Yeah, absolutely. No longer free agency plays out. You have to think it's good for the Birds bringing Becton back. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. So get it done. Don't waste any time. We don't need to see a team lose somebody, working out to an injury and then pouncing on Mekhi Becton. Go get that Mekhi Becton deal done right now. STT Pinpole show would be great. Shane, Mark, Johnny, and Phil. I've never done a show with Johnny Page before. Never done a show with him before. Maybe that has to happen. Phil, if you want to talk basketball, my cousin is Jameer Nelson. Oh, absolutely. He can't talk. He can't talk. Just can't talk Sixers. He's the lead scout for them and the Blue Coach GM. He hates talking about them. It'd be hard to bring somebody like Jameer Nelson on without asking about the Sixers. But I can always do an interview. Absolutely, though. I think you started following me on Facebook the other day, Dante. Send me a message. We'll chit chat about that. But that's pretty cool that he's your cousin. Absolutely. Actually, I'll be a guest on Philly Press Box Radio next Thursday. Really? Chet hasn't sent me that information for the graphic yet. What kind of picture should I put for Big Al on the graphic that I make for him? Oh, I don't know. I don't even get included in that. I know. Anthony, you got eliminated so quickly by Anthony Dives. I look forward to seeing you there, Big Al. Yeah. Right here, Philly Press Box Radio on the STT Sports Network, Wednesdays, 7 p.m. I'd do your show, Phil, but you would probably need a bleep button. A dump. I don't have a dump button, so Dylan is a battering ram when healthy. Big question. When? We'll definitely be doing it. Dives, yeah, just remind me so I don't forget. We'll stream it on all, maybe I'll stream it too. We'll all be together. I remember A.J. Dillon running all over the Cowboys a few times. How many years ago was that? That's the question. I swear I thought of you, but I didn't want to embarrass myself trying to spell. You just say Mr. Crockpot then. Anybody for guest? Oh, man. Playoffs? You're talking playoffs? Playoffs. We're talking this show has been has used artificial intelligence to create it. This is not even a real simulation. This isn't even the real me. I'm an AI generated image right now on your screen. Just like the Sixers who aren't making the playoffs. We got you. Ed Wade had too much of a hard on for some of his staff's picks, but he had a lot of constraints to work around. Yeah, look, Ed Wade is a very special part of Phillies history that doesn't get the credit. My man. Johnny Page is so freaking good. He's a must get as a guest, but he lives over. Yeah, I mean, I know Johnny Page is great. I watch all the On the Shane Page stuff all the time. Yeah. What's with all the great overseas Eagles content creators? Anytime you want me, Phil, I'm there for you. Oh, I feel so special. You're there for me. Is it crazy? Well, rumors last night are that he might end up as a Cowboy, so we'll see if that ends up happening today. Jets trying to steal Howie Roseman from us. Not going to happen. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. The Jets will never get Howie Roseman. Miles Sanders is already on Dallas. Big rumor is Cooper Kupp to Dallas next. He is, but and I'm not worried about it going. I only brought up Kupp to the Cowboys earlier in the show because you guarantee know that some idiot 12-year-old running an account like FanDuel Sportsbook or what's that, the 33rd team will make a graphic saying, who's going to stop this offense in the NFL with Kupp, CD, and Miles Sanders with Dak Prescott? You know it's going to happen. It always happens. Where does Aaron Rodgers end up? Does Aaron Rodgers even know where he's going? I don't know. The Giants, maybe? Wherever he ends up, it's going to be a shit show, I can tell you that. It always ends up a shit show, wherever Aaron Rodgers goes. Like, I've never wanted a quarterback to retire more badly than I want Aaron Rodgers to retire and just go away. Like, it's just, I can't take the guy. The guy's the most pompous, arrogant a-hole I've ever seen. Cannot wait to not have to talk about that guy ever again. And wherever he signs, ESPN, Fox Sports, all the big networks, drooling about how he's going to rejuvenate that franchise. He's going to lead that team to a playoff run. When in reality, he's a bum, a bust, and well past his prime. And in theory, hurting his legacy. And every time he opens his mouth, he hurts his legacy even more. Kupp lost his top gear, which was already second gear. No bueno. I mean, the guy did get injured a lot, and yeah, he might, have lost something. He's still a very smart veteran wide receiver that can find openings in a defense and catch passes. But, yeah, I get it. Honestly, I am not worried about Cooper Kupp going on the calendar. I'm not worried about any offense in the NFL, offensive wide receiver duo. When you have Cooper DeJean and Quinton Mitchell, I don't care who your two wide receivers are. We got them on lockdown. Okay, as Marshall would say, line them up, knock them down. Damn straight. Damn straight. I kind of want to see Rodgers go to the Steelers and fail big time. I just want to see him. I don't even want to see him fail. Like, I don't. Because seeing him fail means I got to see him play again. Russ went to Cleveland to interview, now to New York. Desperate team. I would take Russell Wilson, who's washed, in my opinion, 100 times over Aaron Rodgers right now. Aaron Rodgers or Joel Embiid. Give me Joel Embiid. Give me all the Joel Embiid drama in the world over Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers may, and I'd have to think about this, Mitchie Poo, because this is just popping in my head out of nowhere right now. Aaron Rodgers might be my least favorite athlete of all time. Damn well in the top 3. But might be my least favorite athlete ever in all of sports. I haven't liked the guy's personality since day one. He rubs me the wrong way. Funny thing is, also in my top 5 would probably be Brett Favre. Also the Packers quarterback, Hall of Fame quarterback. Aaron Rodgers might be my least favorite athlete ever. I just, Just hate it. Rodgers handing off to Kenny G would be poor Kenny G. Goes from Jalen Hurts to Aaron Rodgers. What a downgrade for Kenny G, right? But the quarterback carousel, Donald going out to Seattle. Minnesota's bringing, Indianapolis is bringing in Daniel Jones. Minnesota, I forget who Minnesota brought in. I mean, there's a big quarterback carousel going on. A weird quarterback carousel going on in the NFL right now. It's really weird. Didn't Aaron Rodgers win a Super Bowl? It's easily Aaron Rodgers. He won one Super Bowl. He's the greatest quarterback of all time in his own mind with one Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts has as many Super Bowl victories, and after next year, we'll have more than Aaron Rodgers, just so you know. I'm giving you guys plenty of eye contact today. I'm working on it. Wonder if Jordan Love will eventually lose his mind, too. I mean, maybe. Maybe there's something in the water in Green Bay. Maybe. Maybe it's all that cheese they eat up there in Wisconsin makes them so constipated that they lose their mind. They're so constipated they lose blood flow to the brain. Aaron Rodgers is a flat earther and loyal member of the Alex Jones. Aaron Rodgers is just a dope player. I'm trying to now think, as I'm reading comments, what athletes over the last, I'm 44 years old, over the last 40 years, I hate more than Aaron Rodgers. I thought of Brett Favre's name right away. I don't know. I don't know if there's anyone that comes close to my dislike of Aaron Rodgers athlete-wise. That's baseball-wise, I don't know. Was never a big Alex Rodriguez fan, but I gained some appreciation for him after his career with an interview he did, an honest interview he did. Kurt Schilling, but that was a post-play. I don't know. I'm really struggling to find athletes that I hate more than him. Aaron Rodgers and John Cena's heel turn. Oh, they both suck. Maybe I could put wrestlers. If I could put wrestlers in my least favorite athletes, then that would be Dwayne Johnson. Would be right up there in the top 3 as well. J.J. McCarthy probably going to start for the Vikings. I would like to see them give him a chance. I mean, OJ was pretty hateable. Yeah. His playing career wasn't during my lifetime, but the hateable reason was, I won't lie. I never really think I've even talked about this. I was so shocked about the whole O.J. Simpson thing when it all happened. I got this image in my head. It was a Thanksgiving. He was calling the game for CBS. I was a kid. It was snowing wherever he was. And he had his wife and his kid next to him. They were throwing snowballs on the sideline in between cuts. I just couldn't get over it. Plus, Naked Gun was amazing. Hated Paul Pierce, but respected his game. Yeah, see, I don't respect the damn thing about Aaron Rodgers. Nothing. There's not one thing I respect about Aaron Rodgers. Not at all. When is Aaron Rodgers going to Minnesota and sending picks? Coming to, oh my God. Yeah, I mean, he's following Brett Favre's career, so why not, right, Big Al? No lie, my 10-year-old son was watching TV and saw Gainwell went to Pittsburgh. I spilled out my coffee and he asked if that K1 person. Oh, man, it's great that you have your kid watching this show, too. It's a good thing we don't curse too much. I can't respect Kirk Cousins. I don't hate Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is a weird dude, dud, but it's not his fault. Teams keep overpaying him to be mediocre. Yeah, I know. The dark side is coming out of me today, K1 for sure. Frankie Louisville last offseason earned his way up into the top 10 list in most recent times, for sure. Actually, I might put Ben Simmons in my top 5, for sure. Frankie Louisville might have cracked the top 10 this past year. My son saw it on ESPN, brought it out of nowhere, kind of like an RKO. If only Andy calls a timeout and not hurried that pass to Riley Cooper against the Packers, then Aaron Rodgers would not have been a champion. Look at that. Look at that deep dive right there on that one. True. Has Andy Reid learned when to call a timeout? Not yet. I needed counseling for longer than that. Yeah. We all have, K1. I don't like Pete Alonso. I mean, he's a Met. I guess that's why I don't like him. But is he Is he so unlikable that he'd be in your top 3 or 5 most disliked athletes out there? I don't know about that. Top 10 of Phil's most hated athletes. It's a tough one, man. Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, and Ben Simmons are the only ones I could put in that list so far. And there's got to be more. I'm not sure who they are yet, but it's got to be more on that. I would have to do some deep diving. I'm going to write down my notebook, a new page. Top 10 least liked athletes. And I'm going to start working on that list. That sounds like a special feature show with graphics. Patrick Cantlay. He's not on my. I like Patrick Cantlay. I have no problem with Patrick Cantlay. If anything, Brooks Koepka would be the golfer. I actually like Brooks now. I don't hate Ben Simmons. I just think he's young and spoiled. He was never around adults, and Jimmy was too much of an adult for him. Yeah, I hate Ben Simmons because of the wasted potential that he had. Ooh, David Wright's a good one. David Wright's a good one for sure. Frankie Louvu, funny jumping over O-line 3 times on tush push. Yeah, exactly. JoJo is number 1. Oh, Mike Loria. Yeah, is he? I mean, Joel Embiid, I can see the argument why people would put Joel Embiid on their list. At Crybaby Crosby. Oh, definitely. I'm writing it down right now so I don't forget it. Sid the Kid is absolutely going to make – that might be a top 3, right? It's Aaron Rodgers, and it might be Sidney Crosby number 2. It really might be. Wow, thanks. Again, that's why thinking on the fly like that doesn't always work for me. I was at that playoff game when Vicky threw that pass to Riley Cooper. I hate Paul George. I hate Daryl Morey for bringing in Paul George. How about that? Remember when the one golfer was arrested and only Phil and I knew what was going on? Yeah. There on Scotty Scheffler. Again, I've already joked about this, Marshawn, and very few people will understand this, okay? But teeing it up at the Masters, which is less than a month away, the greatest golf tournament of all time, the Masters in Augusta, Georgia. The PGA Tour has the opportunity to create the most hilariously awesome grouping for round 1, okay? Because Scotty Scheffler has been arrested, right? Teeing it up for the first time in several years is Angel Cabrera, former Masters champion Angel Cabrera. If you don't know about Angel Cabrera, Google search his name. He was arrested and spent 2 years in an Argentinian prison recently. Why? That's why he hasn't teed it up at the Masters. So they could put the 2 jailbirds together in round 1 and 2 and create the coolest thing. You can add some other. I mean, Phil Mickelson's been under suspicion of some fraud and stuff like that. You can put him with them. I don't know who else you could put with them. But just think about having Angel Cabrera and Scotty Scheffler together talking about, hey, oh, you had Officer Smith arrest you? Oh, I did too. Did you get patted down by this guy? Oh, did he not wear the glove on you when he frisked you? It would be great. It would be great. The jokes I can make. Don't like Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum would be close to a top 10 name. Brad Marchand that played for the Bruins. Sid the Kid is the best. We love you in Canada, Sid. Did Morey lack to emotional intelligence to see how much of a mismatch? Yeah. Did he? He didn't use artificial intelligence. Jay Cutler. Maybe I'd have to do an AI. I'd have to ask AI or Grok to name it. Yeah, I'm gonna actually do that. Write that down. I'm gonna ask AI to come up with the list for me. John Daly could play. I'm sure he's been arrested a few times. I don't know if John Daly doesn't qualify for the Masters because he never won the Masters and he hasn't won enough to qualify. So I don't think John Daly plays in the Masters. But yeah, I just want to see Angel Cabrera even at a practice round, walking around the course with Scotty Scheffler. The 2 jailbirds together would just make for some entertainment TV time. That's just my opinion. Guys, we're at the final 20 minutes of the show today, 25 minutes. Please, if you haven't already, like, share, subscribe. All you got to do is hit that like button. It's free. It takes 1 second to click share on any social media platform. It even asks you which platform you want to share it on, and subscribe. We started the show at 460. 460 is still probably where we're sitting at right now. All right, we should have well over 20 likes. If I can get to 470 by the end of this weekend, I'd be a very happy man. But please do that, guys. I can't stand A-Rod. See, the thing is, Big Al, I hated Alex Rodriguez and everything he stood for. Manny Ramirez would probably make my list, though. Hold on. I'm going to put Manny Ramirez as a maybe. Alex Rodriguez, after his playing career, did an interview, and I forget where the interview was. And he was very open and honest about why he used steroids. And when he spoke about the pressure, and he at a young age crumbled under the pressure of his contracts, I'm like, well, I get the honesty at least. I don't respect that he did it, but I get it that I appreciated his honesty, and it earned him one check mark in the good column. Kelly Olynyk and Grayson Allen look like two of the biggest pricks ever. Well, yeah, Kelly Olynyk, we know him. Grayson Allen, yeah, is a D-bag. So we haven't gained any subscribers. Great. Fantastic. Happy Friday, Steven Fuentes. It is a great Friday. How about that? Manny Machado's a D-bag. Yeah, I don't know if he's one of the worst of all time, though. Talking about my top 10 worst or least liked or hated athletes of all time. 460. Well, we gained one. All right, so 9 away. We're only 8 away from Mitchie Poo. Say his name and he appears. 8 away from his goal. 39 away from my 500 goal. You know, once I say 500, once we get to 500, I'm just going to be talking about 1,000, which I think that this channel is definitely worth it. See, I said his name, and he appears. I believe in Mitchie Poo. That's it, right there. Claude Lemieux is a classic most. Claude Lemieux. Okay, I thought you said Mario Lemieux there for a second. Yeah. I think hockey-wise, Sidney Crosby is my least favorite hockey player. Not in Philadelphia. I don't hate Bryce Harper. Jonathan Papelbon. There we go. Jonathan Papelbon can make. You guys are helping me create my list. Even if you don't know you're creating my list, sometimes the wrong names give me a good name. But anyway, we're talking lots of things here today on Trending in the AM. Again, Eagles made some fringe signings. The Phillies are adding Ed Wade and Jimmy Rollins to the Wall of Fame. Daryl Morey uses artificial intelligence to sign NBA players. They're the three main topics. Obviously, the Players' Championship is going on as well. You're welcome for the list idea. You're welcome. I will give you, when I finish my list, I will give you credit. Or, since you're really good with sharing screens, you could be on the show with me. We'll do a special show of Mitchie Poo and Phil talking about my top 10 list. I don't know how, I need to figure out a way to like do a list, like a graphic, but have the graphic change. Like a top 10 list with just the numbers, then have the names pop up. I don't know how to do that, but we'll figure that out. Cam Newton, overrated moron, waste of talent, but I don't know if I hate Cam Newton. Who is your outright winner? My biggest bet, my largest dollar bet was on Rory McIlroy. He's in a lot of my golf lineups, so there was that. I predicted Hideki Matsuyama would be the winner, though, and he did make a rebound. He should have a solid day today, and maybe he'll be good to go today. Billy Wagner and Kurt Schilling are two of the biggest pricks. Yeah, Billy Wagner. Kurt Schilling, it's like he was so important to my childhood as a Phillies player. But, yeah, he's a big prick, you know. Like I'm talking about a graphic that changes. Like, I don't want a graphic that I have to take down to put the next one up, and the next take down and keep taking down and putting up new graphics. Like, I want a graphic that's like almost like a video or like a slideshow kind of thing, where it just keeps getting added to it throughout a show. That's what. Then we'll have to do a EOP reunion, Mitchie Poo and Big Al, on the show with me, so we can go over my top 10 least liked athletes of all time. I don't know how to use the slideshow feature. That is something that I do not know how to do. So that's just that. Slideshow, that's a Canva thing, right? I don't even know. Anyway, we're talking all these things. Maybe I'll ask AI, like Daryl Morey, on how to do the slideshow. Maybe that's what I'll do. Who else heard Daryl Morey's comments about AI for advice on what he does with the Sixers and thought he meant Allen Iverson? Who else? Who else thought that? I mean, I thought it. Not really his fault, but Al Horford. What about Al Horford? Do it PowerPoint. Is PowerPoint even a thing still? Yeah, dude, I'm not a high-tech guy, man. I don't beat around the bush. I know what I'm good at and what I'm not good at. I'm good at not making eye contact with you. I am not good at tech stuff. That burn is going to cost the Sixers that bum is going to top 10 pick this year. And they still won't even officially shut down Paul George. It's kind of comical, Dives. Comical that they won't shut him down. And now they're talking about investigating the Sixers, although ESPN did delete that from the article eventually. ESPN published an article that the NBA is investigating the Sixers for sitting players, basically tanking again. When literally everybody else in the bottom 10 of the league is tanking, the Sixers are under investigation for sitting healthy players. Because the NBA just straight up hates the Philadelphia 76ers. It's just crazy. But then ESPN deleted that. Duck is IT support for STT. Everybody's my IT support. Aaron Rodgers or righteously. Thank you for that laugh, Mitchie Pooh. I appreciate that. Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman was entertaining as hell. So you know. Don't request it or graphic support on Twitter. Oh, I know. I've made that mistake many a times, Dives. Made that mistake. I just do it myself instead. I figure it out, or I do it very low level. My graphics aren't very fancy. I'll just do my low level graphics and accept it because, man, the amount of spam you get when you put something like that on Twitter, it's ridiculous. Andrew Bynum, before you said it, I thought of his name. I don't know if I hate him. It was such a short spurt of bad time. You work in IT? Yeah, good for you. I'm just so bad with that stuff. Like, I don't know. I think I could be good at some of these things that I'm not good at. I just don't have the patience or the energy to be frustrated to figure it out. Broke his foot bowling. He was just a disaster, Andrew Bynum. I know everybody can. I hate asking people for favors. I like to figure it out on my own. I do. But I really got to find a way to get a rolling graphic on the show for sure. It would also, once I figure it out, that's how I can reveal my weekly power rankings for the NFL also. Old school Lance Parrish was hated. Was he hated? I mean, that's very young, before my time / very young beard of knowledge right there. Pre-beard of knowledge. That's what it is. That's like, not even stubble beard of knowledge there. I didn't know he was hated or not. I mean, I could add wrestlers. I could add coaches and GMs and owners, and then that list would be very easy to build. You'd put Josh Harrison on there. Chip Kelly would be on there. Stuff like that. Ryan Sandberg. But it actually makes really sense if you understand what I'm saying. I don't have time. I don't have the patience. That's why I don't figure it out. But I like to figure things out. I mean, I don't know how to make an intro video. I made the tulip intro video on my own. I finally gave in and sat down and figured it out. Lance Armstrong. I can see why he'd be on a lot of people's lists of hate. I don't know if he would make my top 10 list. But maybe. I'm going to write him down. I'll write him down as a maybe. It's a possibility. Big Ben. I don't know if I hate it, Big Ben. I mean, he was a D-bag, sure. Man, I do enjoy a good struggle. My whole life's a struggle, News. What do you think? You think this life's easy? Phil's path is a strange and difficult one. You guys come here to watch me struggle. That's what you do. To make fun of my shirt rolling up all the time. That's what TMZ says. Mike Vick might make my list, and I'm going to write his name down. Because Mike Vick, the person, and what he did, I know he paid for the crime, and he was a great Eagles player, too, and he reinvented himself. But what he did, man, I can never fully 100% accept his apology for it. Tom Brady's number one on my hated list for stealing a Super Bowl from the Eagles. I'm going to write Tom Brady down. I think Tom Brady deserves to be on the top 10 list for sure. Players that don't deserve the hate. That's another list. Top 10 don't deserve hate. That would be where Alex Rodriguez falls for me. Carson Wentz does not deserve hate. I still have a special place in my heart for Carson Wentz. And I can't wait for the day that he retires so I can rock my Carson Wentz jersey again. That's just me. Will he be in Philadelphia? I think he said no. But will he be here in 2027 for the 10-year reunion of the Eagles Super Bowl victory? I don't know. I struggle there too. I struggle getting in there every day. I'm tired of having a pizza shop. I won't lie, Adam, but I still do a kick-ass job at it. I don't hate Patrick Mahomes. Kenny G doesn't deserve the hate. Travis Kelce because of the Swifties. Yeah, maybe. I would say Tobias Harris doesn't deserve the hate. I don't hate Wentz, but people hate him. Yeah. Absolutely. Bobby Abreu would be Phil's top. Yeah, absolutely. I'll write it down. Bobby Abreu 100% doesn't deserve the hate. My most disliked athletes are Al Horford, Lennox Lewis, great one right there. Jason Babin, Tony Romo, Kyle Schwarber when he pats leadoff. All right, Kyle Lowry. No, I don't hate Kyle Lowry. He just shouldn't be playing basketball anymore, and he's not. Cutter would be a for hockey fans. Yeah, Cutter. We'll write Cutter down for sure. I love seeing Jason Babin's name. Jason Babin and the wide nine. That's all I remember. Jason Babin and the wide nine. You gotta love that. Scott Rowland gets a lot of undue hate. He's a Hall of Famer. He just didn't want to play on the vet turf. I don't blame him. I mean, I got my vet turf sitting right back there, right? Well, I can't reach it. Right there. There's my vet turf right there. Everybody hates Cutter. We hate Scott Rowland so much, but we don't hate J.D. Drew enough. Does that make sense? Scott Rowland at least played here despite not wanting to play here. He left when he had the opportunity to in free agency. J.D. Drew sat an entire year out to re-enter the draft. That's how much he hated Philadelphia. And J.D. Drew's career fell flat with injuries and stuff like that. I remember the Battery game. I went to the second game, the game after the Battery game, and he had some batting bat boy out there wearing his jersey so he didn't get hit with batteries. What list is Gabe Kapler on? Come on. You didn't like him? And those pictures of him in his thong and stuff like that? Come on. Big Al, you strike me as a guy that loved and had a picture of him in that little leopard print, thong on your desk at work. That's what you strike me as. People hated Donovan. I love Donovan. I was a huge Donovan guy. Bill, I was going to say J.D. Drew. Yeah. He didn't suck. He just got hurt. That was plain and simple. Number 5 was Always Love You. I was at the game after the Battery game when he had the bat boy wear his jersey, and I think he wore the Mark McGwire jersey out for batting practice just to distract people. So yeah, that was a while ago, but I remember that. McNabb tried too hard to be silly. He did. He was not genuine at all, if that makes sense. You could see through his fakeness. I know you. You Delco boys are all the same, which includes me for sure. Kendrick Perkins, hate him more at ESPN than when he was a fat kid playing basketball. Yeah, sometimes he hits the nail on the head. Sometimes he is so far left. It's crazy. James Harden. I don't hate James Harden. James Harden's having a phenomenal year. If I'm going to include coaches and owners, you can include the Colangelos. You can include Adam Silver. Maybe I'll have to make a top 10 least liked athletes and sports, personnel. How about that? Terrell Owens, most hated? No. Kendrick Perkins is a great one. Why did Freddie Mitchell think he was the greatest thing? Freddie Mitchell would make the top 10 list of athletes that most overhyped themselves because he thought he was Jerry Rice, when in reality, Riley Cooper was a better wide receiver than him. Skip Payless. I could do a top 10 list of least liked personalities. Skip Payless, Dan Sillyman, Chris Simpleton. Oh, there's a lot of those. Stephen S. Smith. Norman Brayman might actually be See, I'm not including owners and coaches and stuff. Oh, and I don't despise T.O. I've been thinking in the back of my head about LeBron James, whether he'd make my top 10 list or not. I am thinking about it, Mitchie Poo. I'm considering. Who would be on the top? Would I make your top 10 most hated podcaster list? Top 10 most overly hated? Because I do have haters out there. Which list would I make on the podcast list? You have 3 Colangelos, Jerry, Brian, and Brian's. You also got the burners too. Odubel Herrera. Yeah, man. He could be. Yeah, there's Nick Wrong as well. Forgot about Nick Wrong. He's been so wrong, Nick Wrong. Odubel Herrera. Yeah, I mean, he was an a-hole off the field, that's for sure. No room for people like him in my world. So, there's that. Guys, we're coming up to the final 5-10 minutes of the show today. I know you're all excited for the weekend. I got lots of homework to do this weekend. Top 10 most liked athletes. Top 10 don't deserve to hate athletes. Got to teach myself slideshows. I was thinking, when somebody said Nick Wrong, I was thinking about Nick Swaggy P. Mitchie Poo, do you have like something implanted in my brain that you're watching what the little chemicals inside my brain are doing? Because let me tell you something. When Nick Young's name popped up on the screen, or Nick Wrong, I instantly went to Nick Swaggy P. I don't know if he would make my top 10 list. I'm going to write down Swaggy P's name as an honorable mention on the list. I don't know why I hated him, but Swaggy P, man. Swaggy P was something. That is for sure. This is so great. This is what this show's like on Friday. The complete and total randomness that this show happens to be every Friday. I love it. I love it. I love it. I don't listen to the radio. I turn you on in the car. Hey, Adam, that's what you should do. You don't have to listen to the radio. It's easy, plug and play. Even if you can't comment, you can still listen. I try to read the comments so everybody knows. Charles Barkley, maybe. The Barbers, maybe. VJ Singh. Why are we hating on VJ Singh? What did he do wrong? Which player most represent Philly's waist? Danny Tarable. What do you have? 3 at-bats for the Phillies? Or are you playing 3 games for the Phillies? Danny Tarable. There was a big one right there. That was a fun one. I still don't understand the VJ Singh hate comment there. Jalen Hurts. I hate Jalen Hurts haters. That's for sure. But this is what I love about this show. On a Friday, the final 30 minutes of a Friday show every week just goes off the rails in the most fun and interesting ways. But I am going to work on this. I think Charles Oakley was more of an annoying player than Lance Parrish. Des Bryant, yeah. Des Bryant was a pain in the ass, for sure. Joe Buck would make the list if we included announcers. If we're talking Cowboys, we'll just go Joe Buck. Trying to think. Any other names I'm missing here? Eric Williams? Maybe. I don't hate it. Just so you know, I don't hate anybody. I appreciate everybody that tunes in, Anthony. Even if they've got completely opposite opinions of mine that are highly, highly wrong. Highly hated media members is an exclusive list. You need to put it in years of douchebagginess to qualify. Jeremy Shockey, there's an interesting name. I don't know if he'd make the top 10, but Ron Artest, maybe. Danny Ainge. I can't hate a guy for being good at his job. Meta World Peace or Ron Artest. I don't hate you. He hates me. Not that. Chris Collinsworth. Yeah, maybe. Nick Wrong's barber. If I was his barber, I'd just cut that hair off so quickly. I don't hate Eli Manning. Eli Manning's got 2 Super Bowl. Anyway. Troy Aikman. I don't hate Troy Aikman either. I like Troy Aikman. I think Troy Aikman's 10 times better of an announcer than Collinsworth, than Tony Romo and Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady would be the worst of them, and Tony Romo would be worse. Just that's my personal opinion. What will we be doing next week? All right, I'm going to hit up Parcero. I'm going to hit up Dylan Davis. I'm going to hit up Big Al. I'm going to work on my list. Maybe we'll have a fun week of shows next week. Maybe. I interviewed He Hate Me and Freddie Mitchell on the same show. Well, that's an interesting one right there. That would be 2 interesting characters on the show. Giants fans trying to justify Eli in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he's got the Super Bowl MVP. He's got the Super Bowl trophies. I get it. He was an average quarterback, though. I'm told you. I'm hitting you. You came up with the idea for the top 10 least liked list. You're going to be the guy that I am going to reveal the list, and you're going to criticize or like it on each response. You're going to do the show with me on the top 10 least liked athletes of all time. That's the thing. We're going to work on this show together. Well, we're going to do the show together. I'm going to work on the list. You're going to be my guest on the show. I like how you do on your one channel all your instant reactions to videos. Well, you're going to do an instant live reaction to every name I put on my top 10 list. I'll have a new overlay. We're gonna do a whole shebang for this, okay? It's just going to take me time to figure out how to build all the shit. They are cousins. Oh, are they? I had no idea. Maybe Ed Kraft as a guest. Michael Strahan was an a-hole Hall of Famer when he played. Now he's all nice, yeah. Was Mitch alive for most of the people? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Mitchie Poo looks like he's 12 years old. So, we have we ever seen Mitchie Poo's actual license to know how old he really truly is? I don't know. Yes. How has Barry Bonds escaped mention? I don't hate Barry Bonds. He was a product of the era that allowed what he did. He was actually, I've met Barry Bonds on several occasions in a social setting. He was a cool dude. Very low-key, nice guy. So back in the day in college news, for one summer, I worked at the hotel in Philly. I don't even remember what it was called. It was either a Hilton or a Hyatt. It was a Hilton that became a Hyatt or a Hyatt that became a Hilton. It was that round, not round one. It was right down on Penn's Landing. And it was where that summer, almost all the visiting baseball teams stayed at that hotel. And I worked as a server in the bar there. And I would wait on baseball players every night after the game. And I got to meet Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds, I didn't ask for autographs. I said, hey, what's up? Good game today, or not so good game today, or I'd make a slight joke about the Phillies or whatever. And he was cool. Very cool guy. Very nice guy. Very polite guy. Fair tipper. I met a lot of athletes and a lot of musicians that would stay at that hotel. And some of them were D-backs. And some of them, talking heads, stiff you on a $800 check for a tip. So, I don't have any hate towards Barry Bonds because I've met the guy. Pete Rose, I mean, before our time at Chipu. If I'm going to include wrestlers, I could put Vinnie Mac on there. For sure, I could do that. All right, guys, we got to start the wrap-up process here. It's the end of the show. It's time for the weekend. Fantastic week of shows this week, guys. Thank you all very much for tuning in. The views this week have been phenomenal. Maybe not as much today, but it'll still be pretty solid views today. Thank you very much for a great week. We crossed the 460 barrier on subscribers. Please go out there this weekend, guys. Tell a couple friends. Put it on your Facebook or Instagram pages or Twitter pages. Subscribe to this channel. I will work on some guests for Marshawn for next week. I will work on building up the guest list for next week. We never got to a mock draft, but we'll get to a mock draft next week. Maybe I'll do a mock draft from the pizza shop this weekend. Maybe a live mock draft from the pizza shop this week. Maybe I'll do that. A random one like that. We'll see. It's Players Championship. I'm going to be watching a lot of Players Championship this weekend. Can't wait to hit some bets this weekend, some lineups. Everybody, have a great weekend. Be safe, be well. Like, share, subscribe. Go Birds! Bubbles up. Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 pop.